Have you guys seen Kylo Ren's lightsaber?
Yeah, man, that thing's weird looking.
No, it's not. It's awesome. Here, let me go see if I can find it. I'll show it to you.
My backpack's got jets. Well, I'm Boba, the Fett.
Hi, this is the Grumpy Cheddar from Dorado, Puerto Rico.
Hi, this is James from Wheaton, Illinois.
And I never listen to Discard to Reroll with Mr. Chip.
And I never listen to Discard to Reroll with Mr. Chip.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Stop it, please.
It's Discard to Reroll. It's a podcast about a little dice and card game we all, you and me both, like to call Star Wars Destiny. I'm your host, Mr. Chip, and thank you for listening. Really, I mean, talking to my guest, who you're about to hear from, is genuinely Star Wars Destiny royalty, a title he gave himself, but he's royalty. We're going to hear from him in a second. We were commenting on just how awesome it is to have people that gather together every week, or in his case, every day, or Friday night dice, or whatever he does online, eating cheese, that we have people that would come together and watch us play and talk about a game. It must be a special game, and it's a pretty special community. So thank you for doing that and taking time to do it. We certainly appreciate it. Now back to the real meat and potatoes of today. He is truly Star Wars Destiny royalty. He has branched out in many different ways. He's multi-talented, as you're going to learn tonight. It's one and only Sir Christopher from Double Blanks, the half that he would say is worth listening to of Double Blanks. Sir Christopher, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. You're way too kind. I'm trashing, and they all know it. You know it. I know it. They know it. My dog knows it. You ain't got to lie to the people, man.
No. You, listen, when I think about meta, if you look up meta in the dictionary, it's got a picture of you with a bandana eating a wheel of cheese. Like, that's what I think about it.
That's the meta.
So we've got a great show today, and I know we're going to have it because Chris is here, but we've got a lot of fun things to talk about. It's an exciting time. It's a really, if you're just getting into the game, which I know a lot of you are listening to this podcast, you talk about a great time to get involved with a game. The release of Legacies, if you're in the United States, which a lot of you are, it's coming. It's going to be here on the 11th officially. We're going to talk about that. And we've got some great tips for you if you are going to be going to your friendly local game store, which we absolutely encourage you to do. You're going to need some help. Because, see, what'll happen is, Sir Christopher, they're going to be opening packs of cards, right? They get all their money together. They head on out to the friendly local game store. They get their legacy cards. They're all excited. Those white, shiny packs, they rip them open, and they're going to see cards in there. And they're going to want to know, are these the good cards to have? You've played almost all of them. And I bet you could tell us which ones we want to keep, which ones are going to be the hot cards coming up in Legacies.
Yeah, I've played this set probably 100 times by now.
Wow.
I'm familiar with the set. I don't know it like the back of my hand, of course, but I know what you want to look for and what you don't want to look for. And I will say, for new players, this is the set to get into the game because it's just so appealing. The characters are characters you're familiar with. They're from the movies, you know, Palpatine, Maul, Obi-Wan, the whole gang's here, Tarkin. And all the characters are pretty straightforward, with the exception of one that we'll talk about later. But all the characters are pretty straightforward, not hard to figure out how they play. You know, like Tarkin, for example. One sentence of text, remove 2 dice showing the same symbol to do 4 indirect damage. A new player can look at that and not be confused. So I think this is the set to get your friends into the game. And if you've been on the fence about it, maybe you saw Spirit of Rebellion and you're like, that's a little too much extra. Give Legacies a try, because this set is fun and straightforward.
Yeah, you feel like if they had a do-over, and I think all CCGs that stay around for more than a year, I don't know how long Raw Deal was around, because I know that was your game, but
oh, man.
R.I.P. But when you think about a game like Destiny, I bet you if they had a do-over, this would be the set they would have started with.
Oh, absolutely. I would have started with this set. You've got Luke, Yoda, Boba Fett, R2-D2. Like, this is how you get people in the game. This right here. Not none of that Rebels trash they pulled with Spirit of Rebellion and Empire at War.
See,
all these characters.
You and I are together, and see, there's not going to be a lot of pushback. I know people are listening and going, "What are they like?" Yes, I agree.
People love Rebels, man. And I'm not saying Rebels is bad. I'm just saying there was a clear and obvious bias in Spirit of Rebellion.
No doubt.
And I didn't like it.
No doubt. I didn't understand half of the cards, but that's fine. This is the set you want. And with Rivals, too, we've talked a lot about draft and you warming up to that. But, I mean, this is really super fun. So we're going to do all of that. We also, I figured we'd use this as an opportunity to pick your brain about deck building, because if we're going to have some new players in Legacies, there's a lot of great competitive talk out there, and whether it's R2, P2, or 5 dice villain, or all these decks that maybe are developed already and you just pick up and play. Well, it's not that easy. What goes into actually building a deck, and maybe we can just talk about that a little bit and see how to do that with Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, first of all, we talked about how lucky we are to have people that support us when we play. So we have some patrons. We had some new ones come on board for Discard or Reroll. I want to say thank you to them. It's Jan A., Michael G., Lee P., and ABD Freak Show. Awesome stuff. We have a high roller. That's Anthony. He's going to come on next week to talk a little bit about the new set when it drops, and we appreciate him supporting the show. And then James, we've got James and Uriah and Andrew and Mike and Lester, David, Jason, CDEP, who was our first patron, Michael and Hunter. Thank you. I'm going to be meeting a few of you this weekend because we're going to be down playing some Rivals. This is Saturday coming up. It's 6 to 9, by the way. If you happen to be in the area in Penfield, New York, that's close to Georgia, maybe a 15-hour drive. Hop in the car.
Penfield, New York?
Yeah, right?
Oh, I'm there, man.
Yeah, we're going to be doing some Rivals. They got Rivals all day. God, I can't wait. Thursday, this thing drops. I just want to open my packs. I need my packs, Chris. I need my packs. I need my fix. But it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. So with that, question of the week. Are you ready for this, Chris? Because I need your feedback on it. It's been blowing up on Twitter. It's the MVP of the previous meta. So like Empire at War drops, I feel like it just came and went. There was a meta for a brief time, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what it was? It's comparative. So you have Awakenings, which is all of our introductions to the game. Of course, it's going to go by quick because we're having fun. And when you're having fun, time flies. And then they announced Spirit of Rebellion. We get Spirit of Rebellion. Misery. Complete misery. No one's having fun. Pomaz is dominating. FN is dominating. It's the meta revolves to this luck-based roll a die and win kind of thing. And when you're in misery, it seems like it takes forever. So that's why Spirit of Rebellion felt so much longer than Empire at War. Empire at War hits, people are having fun with the game again, and you're having fun, time flies, and now it's Legacy. So the good news in that is it appears that they took a look at what they did, and they're like, all right, here's the things that worked, here's the things that didn't work, and they improved on it in Legacy. It's obvious. They cut out all that roll out and resolve trash that they had going, and all that stuff we hated in Spirit of Rebellion. It's diminished significantly.
I feel like they let that go on a long time. Like the FN nonsense. I feel like that went on just a little bit too long.
Oh yeah, Lucas didn't do us any favors on that one.
No, Lucas.
I sent emails, I mailed packages. Couldn't get an FN errata.
Did you send over ripped up copies of Vibro, did he?
Never proven in a court of law.
All right.
No, think about it. I make the Vibro Knife video, and I talk about how much better the game would be if Vibro Knife were errated, because all the shield cards would be in play. As a result of that, characters would survive past one turn. As a result of that, you have competitive play. Everyone laughed at me. What happens? They errata Vibro Knife. Everyone loves the game again.
See?
So
I think you need to go work for them. Maybe you do. Maybe you're a shill. Maybe that's what this is all about. You're a plant. but now, so do you think the pendulum has swung the other way, so to speak? So now it's this shield meta where if you're not shielding up, you're trash.
Well, I think what happened is they make all these shield cards, and shields are good in Awakenings, really good, because there's not that much die removal. The only way you have to protect yourself is these shields, and heroes roll a lot of shields. You get the Spirit of Rebellion, have things like Vibro Knife, and shields become useless, but they're still making shield cards.
Right.
And then Vibro Knife gets errata, and you still have all of these shield cards that are now suddenly incredible. Cards like Caution went from being good to must-have. So now shields are kind of oppressive, But I actually think there's a pretty good balance. A good player knows how to deal with like shield. Like R2P2 is a shield heavy deck. I don't even go into a tournament without an Intimidate or a Vibro Axe or some way to deal with shields.
Right.
Even if it's only 2 or 3 cards in your deck, have a backup plan to deal with those shields, and it plays like a normal game of Destiny.
So like with Magic, and again, I relate to things I know, like you could have a sideboard of cards and the games were quick enough that you were playing 2 out of 3 all the time. So it felt like you could at least adjust, see what your opponent was doing. And in this game, you kind of can't do that. So you either have to pack them or not, right?
Yeah, I think Destiny needs a sideboard. There's too much specifics there's too much rock, paper, scissors for this game not to have a sideboard.
Yeah.
It's like cards like Deflect. It's great against range damage, but if I sit down and my opponent's playing Qui-Gon Kanan, well, that's a dead card. So if you're going to have specific die removal, such as Deflect, Dodge, Block, things like that, I think you need to have a side deck. If for nothing else, to be able to use some of those specifics, because like I said, it's a rock, paper, scissors, and that's no fun. You want to build well-rounded decks and compete against other well-rounded decks.
Do you think that games, are they too long to do best out of 3?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. I mean, I say that, but if I show up to a tournament playing General Riken and Luke Skywalker, and you're playing Jar Jar, Maz, Ezra, yes, the game is going to take 40 minutes.
Right.
But we're both playing trash.
Right.
I think aggro is still king and will always be king. And, the last regionals I played at, most of my game, with the exception of one game where it was an R2P2 that was just trying to mill me, most of my games took less than 15 minutes because it's just aggro is the meta. So at the top table, everyone's playing aggro. The game's in kind of quick.
So the question was that we posted on Twitter, by the way, if you want to get involved with the show, you head over to the website. We still have a website, no matter what these young punks at Double Blank say. It's discard2reroll.com. But the Twitter, we go to the Twitter, and it's all about the Twitter. It's at discard.
Your Twitter.
Yeah, at discard2reroll. Listen, I thought Jay was bad with text. You were the king now of texting. Do you have a cellular? Is your phone cellular that you have?
Well, I have to plug it into an Ethernet.
Right.
port.
Okay. Good. That's not good.
Yeah.
Good. But that's cheaper data that way.
I have to wait for the phone car to roll around town and crank it up.
Net neutrality's hurt us all. So I mean, clearly,
I'm feeling it.
So the question was, which card was really the MVP of the Empire at War meta? So I gave 4 choices. It was Ancient Lightsaber, Handcrafted Lightbow. What were the other 2? 2-player Poe or Kanan. And if you have another card that you can think of, what do you think for you in the games that you've played and seen? What was the MVP card?
I'm a Palpatine main, so
yeah.
My MVP cards were just really lame one-cost upgrades like Dark Council and things like that. But as far as the meta, Ancient Lightsaber is not a bad pick. I think it's good with R2P2 and Kanan because you can focus to that +3 side.
Yeah.
But just for all the new players out there, there is a strategy in Destiny called Special Chaining. Basically, if you look in the rule books, when your action is to resolve a die symbol, you can resolve all die showing that symbol. So if I have 1 melee, 2 melee, I can go ahead and resolve 1 die, 2 die, and 3 die with the same action. Specials are the same way. So if you have 2 die showing specials, you can resolve them in any order you want because they're showing the same symbol. So the new Poe Dameron, More Than a Pilot, has a special on his die that is give a character a shield and turn another die to any side. So if you have another die in your pool that has a special, you resolve Poe Dameron's special, turn your other die to the special, and since your action is I'm resolving specials, you get to immediately resolve that special. So your Handcrafted Lightbow can go from a blank to a special. Your Poe Dameron's Blaster can go from a blank to a special. Just like that, and you immediately resolve it. So your opponent doesn't even get a chance to remove the die. And that's why Poe Dameron is so good, and why Yoda will be so good in the next set.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's this special chaining strategy that people in the best decks, I feel like, are abusing that special chaining.
Yeah,
mechanic.
so forecast that out for me. I mentioned on Reddit around like an errata, and people say, well, that's not really an errata because you're not just changing a card, you're changing like a mechanic of the game, like action, like power actions. I don't know how do you think they're going to need to fix that? Yoda's pretty nasty. Like it's pretty nasty.
I'd say if it was just Poe, it's fine. Because Poe only has one special on its die, so you're not guaranteed to hit that special. And if you do happen to hit it, well, guess what? You get to do your combo. But Yoda has 2 specials. And we're kind of getting back to this when Maz Kanata was... I mean, that's a 33% chance to start a special chain. And it just gets ridiculous because once you get one, you can turn the other to the special with Yoda's ability. If you don't know, Yoda's special is... choose 2 of the following, gain a resource, give a character a shield, turn one of your die to any side, or discard the top card of a deck. Yoda has a solid chance to hit that, and one of yours can be gain a resource and then turn your other Yoda die to the special. Then you can turn your Force Throw to the special, get another resource.
Yeah, see, I think, you know what, that's like, that's wishing for more wishes, is what that is. That's Aladdin wishing for more wishes. You can't wish for more wishes. You can't do it. It's like, that's one of the laws of the world.
And then you've got Force Speed. You can turn to the special, immediately resolve it. Now you have 2 more actions.
That's crazy.
It's just a nightmare. It's what I didn't want to see. You know, Rey 2 was bad. Yoda's even worse.
Yeah.
Now they did introduce a card called No Cheating to deal with like Rey, or I'm sorry, not Rey 2, but Rey 1, the one that was action cheating. And it's basically you deal damage equal to the number of extra actions your opponent takes. Well, guess what? Resolving specials is only 1 action. So I could do Yoda special into Force Speed special, and I mean, you do the damage from the Force Speed, but all them Yoda special chainings, that's still 1 action. So it's a really annoying thing to play against, and I don't know that there is a card in the game that counters decks that do that.
So what do you think? What do you think we're going to see Yoda in? Like right now, what you've seen on TTS or what you've put together? What is Yoda's and he's 10-13, which, all right, I'm not a mathematician, but that's good.
Yeah. That's a low number for someone who he is the best support in the game, and you can pair him with any character you want, essentially. So there's a couple of decks that are incredible. I think probably the best deck is Yoda Zeb, because you can play both characters at Elite, and Zeb hits like a truck, and he has 12 health. That's Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader levels of health. Not to mention, you've got Yoda chaining specials, giving him shields, giving him resources, and Zeb's ability basically lets you resolve. He's got a 50% chance to hit damage, one of those being a 3 on his die. So that's fun, first of all. You can Yoda special chain into a Force Speed, get 2 actions, roll out, hit a 3, and just resolve it before your opponent can remove it. But Yoda is also going to, with his special, not only turn another die to a special, but give you a resource so that you can play that bow rifle turn 1. And once you play that bow rifle, it's over. Yeah. Because all you have to do is hit damage, and thanks to Zeb's ability that lets him resolve melee as range, no matter what you hit on that rifle, you're going to get to resolve it. So it's so much early damage. I mean, turn 1, you're talking about killing a character.
Yeah. Wow.
And you can play him Elite. You have 2 die of this guy.
Yeah. This is insane.
And two die of Yoda.
When I look at those cards right now, all 3 legendaries like that, those are going to be hot. No doubt about it. These cards right here.
Yeah. Yoda is going to be the ancient lightsaber of this set.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks for explaining that, and you'll only have to explain it like 4 more times for me. But B,
gotcha.
That's a great value too. When you talk about new players, that 2-player set, I remember like people thought this was well, the picture's kind of goofy. He looks like Eric Estrada from Chips, but the
Goofy.
isn't it right? Isn't that goofy art? Don't you think?
It looks like it doesn't look like any other art in Destiny. It looks way too.
It's weird.
What the French call a certain
Realism.
je sais quoi.
Yeah. We have a lot of French listeners too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, people were ripping on it. And it's like, that's the card. Like it's because it wasn't nerfed. Like Kylo was the guy and people still talk about Kylo, but this is the guy for sure.
Oh, yeah. His lips are really red.
Yeah, that's very red lips. Yeah, very red.
I like it.
Do you know, have you seen Chips, Eric Estrada? I got to bring that up. He looks just like him. Look at that. Let's see. Eric Estrada.
You know, that might have been a little before my time,
Come
man.
on. Let's see what it is. Other people know out there. Let's
What is this, 1962?
This is like, well, no, it's like 70s. Look at though. Look at. Tell me that's not exact. Is that close or what? Tell me that's not close.
That's pretty close.
That's pretty close. Did you see the new Finn and Spock comparison I did?
Yes.
That's pretty on, right? See, cards that look like, if you're just joining us, it's Destiny cards that look like other people. It's a podcast about cards.
The podcast.
Well, thank you for that. And so you can vote, by the way. Head over to the Twitter. If the phone truck comes around your neighborhood, plug on in and charge and vote. It's Discard TO Reroll. And we're going to be there. So with that, let's roll right into Legacies. So they're going to be opening some packs. Are you going any place this weekend for some release parties or anything like that, Chris? Or what's on tap? You got Falcons football?
I got Falcons football, but I'm definitely going to try to squeeze some Destiny, and if Legacies is going to be in the mix. I'm hoping that my local game store respects old Sir Christopher and saves me a box.
Well, did you call them and ask them to respect you, or?
Yeah,
you might want to do that. That might be.
No, when you're Sir Christopher, it should be expected.
Yeah,
royalty. I shouldn't have to call.
How far away is your local store?
About an hour.
Oh my God, are you serious?
No one plays games where I'm from. My hometown is nothing but pharmacies and McDonald's.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I don't even have a joke for you. I think that's the joke itself. You got to drive an hour.
Yeah. God. Well, I mean, it's fine. I'm used to it.
Well, here's the thing. Being new to back in the scene, and with Star Wars Destiny bringing me back into collectible card gaming, I'm used to how Wizards of the Coast puts out information, and I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but they tend to put out a lot of information. There was concern about whether or not the official release was actually in December or it was going to be in January. And so now we've got word there's going to be plenty of product in the U.S. on the 11th. But that's the holiday wave, Chris. The holiday wave. That's like seasonal. Because now another article came out that said, make your plans to attend a Legacies release party near you beginning February 1st. Well, I'm actually attending a release party, but it's happening on the 11th. Why would they? Can you think of any reason why? Why is the question? Why?
You know what? This is FFG we're talking about. This is par for the course.
I just don't get it. What does this even mean?
The short answer is they can do what they want because they know you're going to buy it.
Well, I'm definitely going to buy it. Yeah.
They're just they're going to release it whenever it's convenient. It just sucks. You'd think after we've been putting up with this for what 9-10 years now. You'd think they'd have it together now.
I don't. So maybe I'm guessing here, but maybe it's because they didn't know how much product they were going to get. And it is regionals season that's happening, right? So they wanted to, I don't know if is February 1st a more natural point to start? I don't know. I really can't even explain it. I don't understand.
Well, you're getting close to Valentine's Day, What says I love you more than a stankin' box of Legacy?
I would love it. And I would be your Valentine for that. So just so you know. And I was told the Luke Skywalker, see, there's other things going on here. The Skywalker starter set and the Boba Fett starter set are supposed to be coming, I don't know, the 11th as well. It sounds like my store in Penfield is going to have some units of that too. And that, from what I understand, if you look at the little picture here of these, like the Boba Fett starter set, isn't it true? Like one of the characters comes elite?
Boba Fett should come elite, and then you should have 1 die veteran stormtrooper.
See, I can't see that. I can't get in there to see it. Like I want.
It's the dice on the front is the slave one, Boba Fett, and stormtrooper.
Okay.
But there should also be a second Boba Fett die, because that's how the original
that's right.
starter sets was. You got Elite Rey with 1 die Finn, and you got Elite Kylo with 1 die Stormtrooper.
See, I forgot that. You are exactly right.
If I'll tell you this, if they don't give us Elite Boba Fett or Elite Luke, I'm gonna march down to FFG.
Yeah.
And this is a family friendly show. I can't disclose any more information.
Yeah, it is in Minnesota, so it's a little bit of a walk for you. You might be going there anyway for the playoffs, so that would be.
Oh yeah. That's true.
That would be good.
No, I'm going to go there for the Super Bowl. So
is that where it is this year?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We won't talk
So
too much.
I'll do it when the Falcons go to the Super Bowl. I'll march on over to FFG.
Yeah.
And you'll have to be a Patreon to hear what happens next, because
it's gonna be good.
Friendly.
Talk to me about this Luke. You don't like this Luke, do you? You don't like Blaster Luke?
Nah.
You're very particular about your Luke.
I'm particular about my Lukes, yes.
What Luke? Are you the black suited Return of the Jedi Luke guy?
Oh yeah, dude. When he's got the black suit and the one leather glove and the green lightsaber, it's just like he's wearing all neutral colors, and then he's got that bright gleam. He's got that bright green lightsaber. It's perfect.
That's you right there. There's your
absolute. It's coolness incarnate. I also really like Bespin Luke, where he's wearing like the all tan with the blue lightsaber.
Yeah.
That looks good together. What I don't like
Look at this suit. Look at his black suit without him wearing it. That I want you wearing that. Look at that thing.
It looks like something My Chemical Romance would wear.
Or Elton John, one of the two. That is pretty funny right
Mark
there.
Hamill pulls it off, though.
Yeah, he does.
I could totally cosplay Luke if I got the haircut. People tell me I look kind of like a young Mark Hamill.
Here we go.
But
do you tweet like him? Because he's so there you go. There's some talk about Legacies.
Do I tweet like young Mark Hamill? I don't know.
No, old Mark Hamill. Oh, Mark Hamill needs
1940 when he was young.
It's like Trump and him are like the two tweeters that are like, you never know what's going to happen when they're online. So there it is. It's a release party that's on the 1st of February, but it's really not on the 1st of February. It's actually this weekend, and hopefully you get a chance to go over to your friendly local game stores and just get some packs, man. Just do it. It's going to be awesome.
I'll tell you this. If you go to that pre-release on the 11th and you pull a Yoda, you'll be able to trade that Yoda for a house.
It is going to be valuable. And speaking of that, let me see if I can't bring up my little list. Now, listen, you've played them, so you know really what's the true value. Because the value, there's collectible value, which obviously I have some stake in. But then there's game value, and you know the game value. But based on what you said, both values, whether it's collectible or game, like Yoda's the guy. So we can agree that if you open that, you're happy in your box, correct?
Oh, yeah. It's like getting an ancient lightsaber or a force speed.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Right now, if you wanted to buy an ancient lightsaber, so by the way, we're into our segment called how much are these cards going to cost? So here's your first unofficial price guide. That's it. There's your segue. Yeah, that's it.
How much is this going to cost me?
Here it is. Yoda. I'm thinking ancient lightsaber, when that came out, it was hot. $50 on eBay. $40 is about the dollar amount. 4 speeds still going for that. So like each set has their own, one of those cards. It's funny. The only one that doesn't anymore is Awakenings. Awakenings prices have dropped. So I would say reasonable value for Yoda, the number one card in the set, no doubt about it. $40. I think you're not going to be able to touch Yoda. I'm going to put a new value in here based on our conversation. It just went up, Chris. You define that's like insider trading, man. When Chris talks, prices go up or down. $50 for Yoda. I think it's going to be the highest priced card in all of the game. Would you argue with that?
My opinion, 50 will be the minimum people will pay for Yoda. I can see Yoda's going for anywhere from 55 to 60.
Yeah.
I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Demand is at kind of medium right now for legacy legendaries, right? And Yoda's the king of the legacy legendaries. So what's going to happen is we're going to get this pre-release on the 11th. People are going to get 1 die Yoda, but they want to play him elite. Well,
that's right.
Between that window of the 11th and what is it, the 2nd of February?
Yep.
Product's not going to be available. I can see Yoda going on eBay for $60 and someone snatching him right up.
Easy.
Because they're just so desperate to have it right now. I think he's going to, like, there's going to be nonstop demand and limited supply. So basic economics tell us he's just going to skyrocket for those, like, 2 weeks. You know?
Yeah, so there's already people, by the way, if you look at eBay now, by the time you listen to this, the set would have really dropped in the US. But first of all, his spot glass is $250. So just take that for what it's worth. It's people are already selling it right now. They must have gotten product early here for $45 with $3 shipping. It sounds crazy. That's not a bad deal. So if you're going to get offered a trade, now here's one of my rules for trading. If you are that guy who you listen to this and you know that that's the card and you rip somebody off for that, I don't know. If you can sleep with yourself, that's fine. But my advice to you is not to do that. I mean, if we want to keep people in this game, they're going to figure that out. You know, help people out if they open that card. I worry about people who open that card in Rivals draft and you're doing a snake draft. You know what I mean? Like, how sucky would that be?
Yeah.
You know, to give that up. At least the first week. You know, maybe after it's been, after February 2nd, it feels a little bit better. Like you said, there'll be available product, but
as soon as Legacies comes out, I'm going after Yoda more than anything else. But I'm definitely not going to find like a guy who's new into the game and be like, oh man, Jedi robes is going to make a comeback.
Com links are great, dude. Com links.
Yeah. Just don't be that guy because I can't speak for your local meta, but we take guys like that out back and give them the old 1-2.
That's what you got to do.
Don't let us catch you doing that, or I will come after you.
So here's now the question for second place, really, and if you can see my list on there, based on what I have, what do you think, Chris, is second? My second, I think, just because of the name, and I've been hearing different stuff about how playable the card ultimately is. I think it's going to be either Maul or Tarkin. It's going to be about $30.
Okay, I think second place is going to be, you're close, but in my experience and just from what I think people are going to go after, it'll be a tie between Tarkin and Maul's lightsaber. Maul's lightsaber is insanity. It's really fun to play, and it's powerful. It wins games just by itself, and it's sick. I would probably put Maul's lightsaber second, with Tarkin being a close third.
Let me bring up Maul's lightsaber. Let's take a look at this card real quick. Tell me about this card.
Maul's lightsaber is a card that if your opponent plays it, you lose the game.
Okay. Does it say that on the card? You lose the game.
Yeah, pretty much. I can translate it, but that's pretty much what it means.
All right, see if I got it.
It's a 3-cost weapon. So 3-cost weapons back in the day was like you had to wait till turn 2 to play. But we have so many cards like Truce, Enrage, Adapt, what have you. 3-cost upgrades are not hard to play turn 1. So if you get this out turn 1 on a character like Kylo 2 or anyone that does a lot of melee damage, look at the sides. 2, 2, 3, 4.
That's huge.
And look at the power action. If your opponent has no shields, you get 2 of these. So think about that. 2 of these dice turn 1. I actually built a deck that was Kylo 2 with Bib Fortuna, and I won a game turn 1. Because in case you don't know, Bib Fortuna's got a special that lets you roll in a character die. So basically, I played the Maul's. I think I truced into the Maul's lightsaber on Kylo, activated Kylo, did 2 damage, rolled him in, resolved his damage with the Maul's lightsaber, rolled Maul's lightsaber back in, did Bib Fortuna, used his specials to roll Kylo back in, and won the game.
That's insane.
Resolving a die and then rolling it back in it's insanity. It's insanity what you can do with this weapon.
So with the power action, you're just playing that anytime. You're just taking that as an action, correct?
Yeah, you're going, I just did 4 damage. I'm going to power action and roll it back in. Oh, it hit the 3.
Wow.
It's like that.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
So
it's the best. I think it's the best weapon for villains right now.
Wow. So compare that to Obi-Wan's saber here. Let me bring that guy up. Talk to me about that card.
Obi-Wan's lightsaber is good. I don't think it's as good as Maul's lightsaber, but with the right kind of deck, it can be devastating. I'll put it this way. I'm not going to say it's better or worse than Maul's lightsaber. It requires more strategy to pull off the devastating plays with it. Maul's lightsaber is pretty self-explanatory. You roll it in, kill someone, roll it in again, kill someone. Obi-Wan's lightsaber, you kind of have to set up your character with shields and then get like a My Ally is the Force on that special. But when you do get that combo off, you pretty much win the game. Because it's unblockable damage with the special, and unblockable damage has never been more valuable than it is now when we're in this meta with shields and Force illusions and all that. So I'm liking Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber in every single blue hero deck.
I'll tell you what, the cards are so good in this set, aren't they? I mean, that's amazing. Like right off the top, I feel like Empire at War, we were like struggling to find, like it sorted itself out after a while, but like right off the top, there's like so many good cards. So that's going to be hot too. So all right, but I think the dollar amount's 30. I think if you're looking at whether it's Maul or Saber or Tarkin, so you're going to go Yoda, Maul's lightsaber, then Tarkin.
Tarkin, right?
Yeah, talk to me about Tarkin a little bit. And have you played him, or I'm sure you played against him? But what's been your feeling? I have
played Tarkin, and he is incredibly good. I consider Tarkin to be the Thrawn of this expansion, where I'm not going to recommend him for beginners because it's difficult to play red to begin with. But what Tarkin does, if you just swarm the board with dice, I mean, you're talking, 5, 6, 7 indirect damage without even really, doing anything special. He doesn't need combos. He doesn't need big upgrades. Remove 2 blanks and do 4 damage, and then resolve his die to do 2 more. And he, at 13-16, he can do a lot. The best deck, I think, for Tarkin right now is Tarkin 7th Sister, because 7th Sister has you can play her elite, so you start the game with 5 dice, because she also rolls in a Seeker Droid. So it's like, you just swarm the board with dice, remove 2 blanks, do 4 damage, and people got to realize, like, 4 indirect damage when you only have 1 character left is huge. Like, if there was a character that was just like, remove a blank and do 4 damage, that character would be broken.
Right, no doubt.
I mean, that's basically what Tarkin does when you get to late game. Remove 2 blanks and win. So I think Tarkin is definitely tier 1 material in this set.
So talk to me about this card. So when I'm up late at night and I'm looking at these cards trying to see what they do, and I see this card, Pirate Speeder Tank, and it's a legendary, and it's like one of those legendaries like Quad Jumper. You're like, oh God, do I really? This is what I get? And people are going to look at this card and go, this is garbage, this is trash. It has 3 ranged, 4 indirect, 5 indirect for $1, 2 shields, and a special, which is the special. I thought this was a misprint. Deal 2 damage to a character, give a character 2 shields, and take another action. Is this? I mean, I know it's cost 5, but this seems really good.
It's really good. And back in the day, this would never see play. But we have battlefields and events and all kinds of shenanigans to get out supports. The entire Empire at War set was like, it felt like 40 to 50% of the cards were based around supports. And now it's like, you look at that and you're like, 5 resources, I'll never get that. But you get the battlefield that lets you play it for 1 less. Now you're down to 4. You have a plot card that lets you start the game with 3, and then you play something like a truce and you have it. So like turn 1, you can play this. And so you just kind of have to, if you enjoy cards like this, if you see a card like this and you're like, God, I want to play that, build that deck. Build the deck that makes a ton of money and plays this card. And if you get this card out here, you're in good shape. There's not a single side of the die except for the blank that's bad. So it's not like, it's not like Vader where you roll in and you hit 1 shield and you're like, well, that was a waste of a roll. No, this, no matter what side you hit, you're going to be happy with, and it's just consistently good.
It's got so the quote at the bottom is Hondo, by the way. So maybe they're saying that is this his vehicle?
My favorite character.
Are you a Hondo guy? No, you're not. You're right.
Who is Hondo?
Exactly. Isn't he the guy? We talked about that. He's the guy from Overwatch.
Yeah.
Look at Hondo.
I'm sure he's such a cool character.
He's cool looking.
That's a little inside joke with me and Jay, because Jay loves Rebels and Clone Wars, and he does this thing where if he knows about a character and I don't, he always says this. He's like, "Oh, you don't know who Sabine Wren is?
Right.
Dude, she's such a cool character."
You're right.
And then I go, "Okay, explain to me why. Give me specifics.
Yeah.
Why? You just say that because you know the character and I don't."
Well,
What if I was like, "Oh, you don't know who Max Rebo is? He's such a cool character, dude. You're out of the loop."
Max is cool. He's a respected businessman, Hondo.
Yeah, he is a respected businessman.
Deal 3 damage to an opponent's character unless that opponent gives you 1 resource. Okay, yeah, you're not a fan.
He's got 2 specials that do that.
Gotcha.
And he's neutral.
Yeah,
you compare him with Yoda.
There you go. He's not bad. All right. So we've got, let's see. So I was trying to sell Pirate Speeder Tank. In terms of value, I have that down on the lower end of the list. So we got Yoda. For you got Yoda's Maul's lightsaber, Tarkin. I think they're going to be, just so people know, in the $30 range. Then you got Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a weird way to say that. Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's $25 I have for that. And then Zeb.
Right.
So if that Yoda Zeb becomes a thing, which it sounds like it's going to be, maybe the price is higher, but I have him at about $25. I don't know. Do you think he's going to be a hot legendary?
Zeb is going to be sought after. He's just too good not to. Like, he's... I'm not sure if people will have fun playing him, but he's definitely going to be super competitive. Like, he's going to be sought after, kind of like... I'm trying to think of an example, but every good character came in the 2-player set. So,
like Phasma, maybe? I mean, that original Phasma was kind of a thing.
Yeah, kind of like that.
I'm trying to think of those characters.
He's just a beat stick, and you can pair him with good supports. Whereas, like, you look at Luke Skywalker from Awakenings, he costs 20, and you don't get as much damage as Zeb does. And you compare Zeb with elite supports.
Yeah.
So...
Now, have you played Luke before? I'm sorry. All right, so we've got Obi, Zeb. I think we're getting close to that. Well, Kylo Ren Starfighter, which people are saying is amazing, and you guys spoiled that card. Remember that day?
We did. That was a double blanked exclusive. The first one we ever got.
That was good. Kylo, let's bring that up. Kylo
FFG was like, "We're going to give you this one card, and if you ever talk trash again, you ain't getting no more."
Right. Great. And then you just said you're about to go up there, and for patrons of your channel, you'll tell them what you're going to do to them.
Well, it's not my podcast, so I'm not going to trash talk FFG on your show. Yeah. But when I get back to double blanks, it's on.
So, what do you think about this card in terms of a legendary?
I think it's a little overhyped.
Yeah.
People were acting like the sky was falling when they first saw this card. And I mean, it's good for what it does. But it's like, the thing is, I never play mono decks anymore because of Kylo 2. I don't play Palpatine anymore. And if someone will be like, "Oh, dude, play Kane and Yoda," I don't want to play that deck. It's mono blue.
Yeah.
If I set across from a Kylo 2, I lose by default. So you can't play mono decks anymore. You just can't do it. Like, I don't even waste my time building a mono deck. So it's like, let's say you play Kylo Ren Starfighter and you go to a tournament and it's R2P2 and you spend your 2 resources on this, you roll out. Let's say you're lucky and you don't hit the 1 shield or the blank on it and you get the special and you choose red and there's 1 red card in their hand or 2 red cards in your hand. It's just, and you're going to give up claiming the battlefield for that because supports pretty much forfeit the battlefield. I think it's good. And with Kylo 2, it can definitely make for some really good combos. I just think it's a little overhyped.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in draft, it's good.
Oh, in draft, it's solid.
Just a two cost vehicle. But yeah, I'd agree with you. I think that's at the lower end of the sought after rares. I think so. Yeah. So I think after that, you've got Finn's a question mark for me. I think people are going to think it's a good card, but people are going to remember the original Finn, and it's just going to put a bad taste in their mouth. Do you think Finn's going to be somebody that's going to see play?
I would compare Finn to Baze Malbus from Spirit of Rebellion.
Yeah.
He's just good. He does a ton of damage, and really good players can build really good decks with him. I don't like that he has that modified side on his die. That can make for some really frustrating moments where it's like you have the modifier but nothing to resolve it with. His special is good, but I just don't think it's impactful enough. Like, resolving a die on your 16 cost character to move 1 damage. I mean, it's like, yeah, you're healing a damage and moving a damage, but 1 damage just isn't that much anymore. And, it's like people get 3 shields on their character like it's nothing. So that's why I laugh at dies that have like 1 indirect damage on it. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a joke.
Yeah.
Like 1 indirect damage. Yeah, I'll take 1 shield off of my Yoda, and I might as well mitigate your die at that point.
See, so you just talked Finn down. Finn's now 15. So I've got.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to talk Finn down.
Listen,
I love Finn.
You are the stock market.
I'll say this: he's red, which is what the original Finn should have been.
All right, 16. That's it.
I think people are desperate to play Finn because Finn is a beloved character from the movies, and we just want to play Finn. So I think people are going to build decks around this card, similar to how Baze was. And when those decks get to working, they work really good. I think that 3 indirect damage on him is huge. I'm thinking I know I just said mono decks are dead, but like Finn Wedge can devastate you if you let it. So there's decks for Finn. I don't think he's going to be that tier 1 gotta have character, I guess is what I'm saying.
So here's what I say. Based on that, you got Yoda, which is above all else. You've got Maul's lightsaber and Tarkin. I think Maul's going to be in there, but those are the 3 that I think are going to be in that next group. But that you've got Tarkin, Obi-Wan's lightsaber, Zeb, Kylo Ren Starfighter, Maul's lightsaber. I mean, those are going to go up and down depending on the day or what you try to build. I mean, what you like. But I think all of those are the ones you want. I think the next group, there's another like a mid group, and then the everybody else. I think Finn, Zeb's rifle, Greedo, maybe the Pirate Speeder, maybe Saw Gerrera. Is that next group? Am I missing? Are any of those cards that you see in that other half of the list, do they belong at the top? Do you think they're going to be?
I think the bow rifle. I think it's one of those things where it's like, if you're playing Qui-Gon, you want the Shotos. If you're playing Zeb, you got to have the bow rifle. So I think, like, as much as the demand is for Zeb, the bow rifle will match it perfectly.
Okay.
Like, no one's going to build a Zeb deck and be like, yeah, I don't think the bow rifle fits in this deck.
Yeah.
It's pretty much handmade for Zeb. So it's like you gotta have it in your Zeb deck.
When Saw Gerrera was spoiled, people thought like, oh my God, this is the guy. Why is it cold on him right now?
Why is it cold on him?
Yeah, I feel like people are cold on him. They're giving some hate.
He's good. 2 indirect, 3 indirect, and then a special that discard a random card from player's hand and deal indirect to an opponent equal to its cost. I've seen some Saw Gerrera decks that whittle their hand down to where it's like 2 5-cost cards, and then they just blast me for 10 indirect damage. So I think that's going to be a fun deck to play with, but I think he's just kind of boring. You have to work towards those specials, and any character with 1 indirect, it's like you roll him out, you get a blank and a 1. I mean, not indirect, but a disrupt.
Yeah.
You roll him out, you get a blank and a disrupt, and you're just like, I hate Destiny.
Yeah.
It's not that he's bad. It's just that look at how many exciting characters are in this set. And I just don't think Saw matches up. It's like, what would you rather play? Obi-Wan Kenobi, Maul, or Saw Gerrera?
Yeah, he's got a sweet suit. I mean, that's a neat suit.
Yeah.
That's like a young Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, Younger. Before he had bronchitis.
He reminded me of the guy in Fallout. When you get the armor?
Preston Garvey?
No, like, Fallout 4, the game?
Yeah.
Is that who it is? I don't know the character name. Is that the character
name? Are you
name?
Talking about the guy from the Minutemen?
Oh, man, you're going deep. No, I'm talking about when you, like, get the suit of armor, like the big, like, lumbering, what's that called?
Yeah, it's called power armor.
Yeah, I feel like that's what that looks like.
Oh, power. Well,
yes.
It's because in the game when you get the power armor, you meet a guy named Preston Garvey.
Oh, see?
That's why I thought,
Dude, you were like
and he dresses like he has a cape or like a not a cape, but like a Minuteman coat, and it's like got a tail on it.
You're like,
so I thought you were saying Saw Gerrera looks like Preston Garvey.
ladies and gentlemen,
of his outfit.
this is, I mean, he is royalty. You know it all about gaming. It's incredible. Your knowledge is vast, sir.
I've been around that old block once or twice.
So anything else we're missing here? Because I think the rest of them, by the way, give or take, it's between $5 and $10. So if somebody offers you like, hey, Force Wave and Grand Moff for Yoda, don't do it. And I know, just quick shout out to D House and Mike from Jedi Trials. They did an awesome thing where they were like comparing trades and stuff. So if somebody tries to rip you off for that Yoda, let me tell you something. It's gonna
come right back to this episode of Discard or Reroll and look at the value, because you're seeing it right now.
This is it. And I would say, unless there's the word ancient or Force speed in that trade, I'm not trading my Yoda.
Yeah, I think your list is good. I would only change a couple of things. I would make Maul much lower, because Maul sucks.
Yeah,
Maul
but it doesn't matter. That's the thing. People love him.
This is true. This has been proven in Destiny before, because in Awakenings people were going crazy over Force Choke, and Force Choke's one of the worst upgrades in the game.
Yeah, this thing. Let me tell you what this does. It's 12/16. After one or more of this character's die or upgrade die are removed by an opponent's card or effect, you can remove one of theirs. How's that not good? Instant mitigation.
It forces you to delay your activation. You can't roll in your aggro character as the first action, which isn't a big deal. It's like, whatever, just stall the turn out and roll him in when it's convenient. But you have to pay for his 3. I see Maul being the Grand Inquisitor of this set. He can be good.
Really? Yeah,
he can be good, but I see him being Grand Inquisitor. Wow. And in testing, see, I thought Maul was going to be oppressive. I thought Maul was going to be just this, like, I can't even remove his die. He's so good. But in playtesting, his 2 and 3, and then look at the rest of his die. 1 disrupt, 1 discard, 1 resource. So you have to be lucky and hit a 33% chance to hit damage, and then one of those damage sides you have to pay for. He's only got 11 health. I think him all kind of sucks.
What about this pairing right here?
It's mono blue. Kylo 2 wrecks it.
Oh, jeez. But are the people playing Kylo 2?
Yes.
Still? Are they?
Kylo 2 is still one of the best characters in the game. If anything, he got better because he has more pairings he can do now.
What's the Kylo 2 build that we're going to have to watch out for?
I have 2 that I really like. The one I talked about earlier is Kylo 2 and Elite Bib Fortuna. You can play both.
Oh, yeah, right. That was Kylo 2. Sorry, my fault. Yeah, that was huge.
And you basically win turn 1 because you get 2 Kylos and 2 Maul Sabers.
Right.
And you win because you get to roll all your dice back in. But I think the big one is going to be, you can do Kylo 2 and Tarkin.
Okay.
And that deck is super oppressive.
Wow. Okay. So you think Kylo 2 will still be a force in the Legacies meta?
Yeah. Play a chance cube on Tarkin and a force speed on Kylo. Roll out, remove 2 blank, activate Kylo, do 2 damage, remove 2 blanks, do 4 indirect damage, resolve Kylo's die, which he has a 50% chance of hitting damage. That's going to be 3 to 4 more damage. It's insanity. Kylo 2 is still really good. And I think Maul just plays a little too fair to be good.
Interesting. One of the things we haven't heard about, like, decks, people are building decks and what's going to be legal and competition legal. They haven't said anything about rivals yet. You know, when's the rivals? There's some good rivals cards in there.
Most of the rivals cards are good in draft and mediocre in competitive.
What about
There's
Anakin?
A couple that fit into a good deck, but most of them are just like, this is good for draft, but in competitive, we have a whole set of stuff to slot into our deck. You know, it's getting harder and harder to optimize decks because you only have 30 cards you can put in. So if a card's gonna go in over something that I've been relying on, it better be darn good. And I think all the rivals cards are just okay. None of them are like, gotta have. Well, I take that back. Hidden Motives is an auto include, I think, right now.
Yeah, I like that card a lot. The art's a little weird.
The art is a little weird.
Look at him.
Hey, hang on. Do you still have the Maul's lightsaber?
Yes.
Look at the artwork on it. Me and Jay talked about this on the last Double Blanks.
Let's see, where did I put it? There it is up there.
Zoom in on the artwork.
You like it?
Do you notice something a little weird?
Let's see. He's got his hands. What should I be looking for?
Maul is cross-eyed. Can press Alt and zoom, or Control and zoom in.
So I can't.
It's either Alt or Control. I can't remember.
I think it's
But if you really look at this card,
Alt.
it's the same.
There we
side.
go.
Maul's cross-eyed.
How did you even notice that?
Jay found it, and I was talking about how good this card is, and like, dude, I've been winning games turn one with Maul's lightsaber, and he's like, yeah, I like it too, but did you notice that Maul is cross-eyed?
That's great.
I don't know why they did that.
What in the? I think it might just be an anomaly in the way that it's. Yeah, he's big time cross-eyed.
That's what happened. No, this is a still from the movie when Obi-Wan first cut him in half.
Yeah,
and he's just like, ugh.
Look at if you look at these two cards together,
it has to be the same artist. They look really similar.
That is ridiculous.
Yep, same game.
Poe Dameron. There it is.
Same game has this artwork.
So
Poe Dameron the artwork is too good. That looks like a still from the movie.
I think it is. I really think it is. I don't think how could that be? That's not a painting.
And hang on, do you pull out a General Grievous real quick?
Right.
Because I always thought General Grievous was a still from the movie, but I actually think it's artwork. But it's another one that just doesn't look like it fits with the artistic design of Destiny.
Let me bring it up here. Send and search. Come on.
I can never spell Grievous right when I try to. That's why I quit playing him, because I would have to make a YouTube video and
just say General. That's good. Here he is. Let's go
there we go.
Out there.
Looks like it doesn't look like artwork, does it? It looks like a still from like a cartoon, like Clone Wars.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't look like artwork to me.
Wow.
I really don't like inconsistency when it comes to artwork in games. Like, I like for it all to look the same.
I think they recycle a lot of their art. Like, who's this guy?
They do, definitely. Because if you look at, what's that miniatures game from FFG?
Legion?
No, it's an older one that we played a long time ago, but all the artwork is the same. And they use the artwork in X-Wing, too.
Who's Dark Advisor? Where did that guy even come from?
Dark Advisor is in Return of the Jedi. He's only in the movie for like a second.
Oh,
but,
you're right.
Emperor Palpatine's like, be gone. And then he turns and he talks to his Dark Advisors, and then it cuts away to like Endor.
I got to see that movie again. I feel like Return of the Jedi, I would like that even more now. I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's got the best Luke in it, man.
Best Luke, yeah. Except for the Luke costume. It's crazy.
Black suit Luke.
How about this card right here? Well, so listen, everyone listening, I want to tell you, you've gotten, the free advice you've gotten so far. Sir Christopher, you really should charge people for this advice. It's that good. It's that good. And people can pay you if they want, because you play. I've never seen a guy play more damn Destiny than you. You played 5 hours the other day.
Oh, I might have told Jay this, but I'm not sure. I need to see what the current record is for the longest Destiny live stream, because coming up soon, I'm going to try to live stream for 12 hours, and I think that'll be a world record. And it would just be cool to have a world record in something.
I think it would. You get the frame. The guy comes out, gives you the frame. Yeah. That's a lot of Destiny, dude.
I'm going to try to do a 12-hour live stream one day.
I don't know how I wouldn't flip a table. Like, your wife is going to flip a table. Like, legit, really, in real life, flip a table. But I don't know how. That's a lot of Destiny.
It is.
God bless you,
sir. But I'm stoked for it. Sounds like a lot of fun.
When are you going to do that?
I was thinking maybe in February, sometime. Maybe one weekend where I'm not doing anything. Just one Saturday starting at 6 a.m. and streaming till 6 p.m.
You should, quick aside, you should do it for the Extra Life stuff, the charity thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Or do it for, I know you're a big, you got a zoo over there. You could do it for the Humane Society, too. Just a thought.
Yeah, I'm a big animal guy. So that would be awesome.
All right. So I know you have stuff to do, and you've played a lot of games today online. So I want to pick your brain just for a few more minutes more, if you would indulge us on that.
Anything you want to know.
Listen, we want to talk. So building the deck, I think part of what's been good about Tabletop Simulator, particularly now, is like you kind of have to build your own deck because you can't get it out of the database. So it's forcing people to really understand these cards and build. What would be some advice you give to newer players who they're buying a ton of cards now with Legacies? They're sitting down with all these cards, they're looking at them, and they're trying to put a deck together. Where do you start when you're crafting a deck?
I find one character that you would enjoy playing. Like, for instance, you could say anything. You could say Yoda, 13 points. All right, now what are the possible combinations and combos? Like, for instance, I just made what I think is the best deck I've ever made, and that's Elite Yoda with the Elite Chewbacca.
Ooh, okay.
I kind of don't even want to talk about it because it's kind of secret sauce. But
all right, well,
hey, discard to reroll exclusive. This is the best deck in Legacy.
Here it is.
I promise you. Because indirect damage is going to be a thing, and Chewbacca laughs at indirect damage. And so I'm like, all right, so I've got my character combination, so what do I want to do? And I was like, Chewbacca's got 12 health. I can make a deck, and I've got blue and yellow. I can make a deck where he just never dies. So I start with that, and I'm like, I got to put in Force Heal, because Yoda, I can special chain, get a resource, and then turn Force Heal to the special, pay the resource I just got, and heal 2 from Chewbacca. I could put in Lone Operative, use Yoda's special to get the... I'm gonna go through a lot of cards, so I don't.
Yeah, that's okay.
But Lone Operative basically is more healing. I could do Force Throw, and then that way I have this combo with Force Throw where I would Force Speed, Yoda special chain to Chewbacca special, and then I would do Chewbacca special, which makes me turn one of your dice to a damage side, and then does that damage to a character. And then since I'm special chaining, I immediately Force Throw it back. So if you're playing Maul's lightsaber, I'm going to Chewbacca special to the 4 to hit you for 4, and then immediately Force Throw it for 8 damage, and I remove your die. And like I said, Chewbacca's just getting healed with Lone Operative, Force Heal, and Second Chance if he gets low. And so I'm just like, I'm building this deck where I've got shields and healing. I guess the point is, find a strategy that's realistic. There are decks out there that are just these wacky, crazy combos that you'll never pull off but once in a blue moon. Be realistic about the way the deck plays. Build it to where you can do something no matter what's in your hand. And a good way to do that is have your mitigation cards. I'd say 50% of your deck should probably be mitigation.
Yeah, that was my next question. So you're thinking, dice removal, 50%?
Dice removal is a must right now. And the more non-specific, the better. Like a card that says remove a die is always going to be better than a card that says removed a melee die. So any kind of die removal that works good in your deck. Be realistic with your resource curve. 2 costs are good. A couple of 3 costs sprinkled in, and then maybe 1 big 4 cost in your deck. But don't go crazy and be like, I'm going to put 4 3-cost upgrades and then a 4-cost upgrade, and because realistically you're not going to be able to play that. You're going to have a handful of upgrades you can't play and no mitigation. And Kylo 2 is a thing, so have a good diverse color spread throughout your deck. Sprinkle some gray in there if your meta is high in Kylo 2, and just aggressively pursue what your deck does best. Yoda special chain, so every card in my deck is going to work towards that. It's either going to heal my characters or get to them specials. Like I have a support in there called Double Dealing. When one of my die rolls a special, I get a resource. So I play 2 of those every turn. I'm starting with 4 resources. It's just just take the time to look through and just. I always do this. I get my characters and then I get my maybe stack. And any card I could see that maybe would be good for this deck, I set to the side. I don't even worry about the 30 card limit. Usually I have like 50 by the time the maybe stack is done. And then you start whittling it down from there until you have 30. Go play test it, play 3 or 4 games. Be like, okay, I've played some games. This card sucks. I need to replace it. Right. And eventually you will have that tournament winning deck that you want.
So Yoda,
that's at least how I do it.
So Yoda, thinking about Yoda as a character, he's going to be the target, do you think, in this case? Like pretty much in any deck
well,
he's
if you go for Yoda, Chewbacca kills you.
Right. Interesting.
And if you go for Chewbacca, not only does he get 9 health healing per turn and a second chance on top of that, but you've got Yoda force throwing at you. So it's really I win no matter who you go for. That's why the deck is so good.
Yeah,
and the reason I said Chewbacca is going to be tier 1 is because people are going to be playing indirect damage with characters like Tarkin and Finn. Then what's the advantage to indirect? Well, I just want to do direct damage. Indirect damage sucks. I should pick where my damage goes. Well, the upside is instead of 2 direct damage, you get 4 indirect damage. So you get more damage, you just don't get to pick where it goes. Well, Chewbacca doesn't care about that because on his special, it says deal damage to a character equal to the value. So if you've got 3 indirect damage, I turn your die to the 3 indirect and I pick where all 3 of that damage goes. But when you resolve it, I can put it wherever I want. And that's why I think Chewbacca is going to become a tier 1 character in this next set. He destroys indirect damage.
Yeah.
He laughs at it.
That would be great.
And the quickest, I know someone's going to comment and be like, Chewbacca's card only says range and melee damage, but it was actually clarified in the rule that starting with this set, whenever a card says damage, it refers to range, melee, and indirect. So even though the Chewbacca's text doesn't look like it works, it does.
So in my meta, there's a lot of 5-die villain. Drives me bananas. Balatik, I know you said, the other night in your stream, if you never see Balatik again, you'd be a happy guy.
I'll be happy when he's dead.
What? Conjure Club, too. Is he Conjure Club? I don't know. I don't remember that.
No. He wants you to tell that to Conjure Club.
Tell that to Conjure Club. That's a battlefield, right? Or something. I don't know. Conjure Club needs to be in there in some capacity.
He's a guy.
Is it a guy?
All we know about him is his name.
Oh, Conjure Club is a guy?
I never made a deal. Han Solo was like, I never made a deal with Conjure Club.
Oh.
And Balatik's like, tell that to Conjure Club.
Isn't Conjure Club, isn't it a gang? Maybe it's a gang?
By the way, Balatik survives that and does not come back in the new movie.
Right. So I think people hate him that much. They hate him that much.
Man,
it's his ability. How do you pick apart that deck? How do you just help me? This is a personal advice. How do you beat that deck?
Well, see, as a Palpatine player, I hate seeing 3 characters because it's just going to spread my damage around. But we have a new legendary in this set called Force Wave. And Force Wave is basically a giant middle finger to 3 character decks. If your meta is heavy in 5-die villain or anything like that, consider Force Wave. It's neutral, so you can put it in hero and villain. And the special lets you do 6 damage to a 3 character deck.
So it's 3. For those who don't know, there's 2 of those specials on there. For 1, it's 3 damage to a character, then 2 damage to a character, then 1 damage to a third character. You're picking all 3. It's like I'm picking those. It's not deal 3 damage.
No, you resolve this and you pick. All right, 3 damage to Bala, 2 damage to Stormtrooper, 1 damage to whoever. Now the downside to this is you have to do that. So if they're down to 1 character, you have to do 3 damage to them, 2 damage to yourself, and then you can't do the 1 damage.
Yeah, third can't be the first one.
Yeah. It has to be different.
Okay.
So that's why people are saying oh, Force Wave sucks. You have to do damage to yourself. And no, you can't think like that. When you see a card, you can't be like, oh, I have to do a damage to myself. Think about it. That's my advice. Is just think about possibilities. If you have 3 characters showing and I have the special, I resolve the special and do 6 damage to your characters. If you have 2 characters showing and I don't want to take that damage, I'll just re-roll it and get the 2 indirect and not do the damage to myself. People see a special on a card and they just oh man, but in this situation that special will be bad. And it's there's more on the card than just the special.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe when you kill one of the 3 characters, you override it with something better, But Force Wave, I think, is if you want to do tournaments or something, I think Force Wave is legit. I think people are really underrating it. I think people are like, oh, you have to do damage to yourself, so it's not that good. But I think it's solid because it counters those super annoying 3 character decks.
Force Wave, it just went up from $8 to $10 on my list.
Oh yeah.
See, that's how much control you have. You just talk that card up. What else? Talk up all my uncommons, please. I'll be trading for Yoda.
Another card you got down there towards the bottom that I think is going to be way better is Callus's bow rifle. Simply because it's perfect for Callus, and Callus is amazing.
$40. It just went up to $40.
It ain't gonna go up to $40.
You just did it.
I can see that upgrade being 15 to 20 at the absolute most. people who don't know what they're buying might pay 20 for it, but
Now, you just got called out by D-House called you out. Is it Callus or Callus?
it's callous.
Is it really Callus?
It's callous like a callus on your hand.
Okay. Did you call it Callus at one point?
I did.
Okay.
But I was corrected by the very delightful and kind-hearted YouTube community that is never rude about anything.
No. Very supportive. Very supportive, I'm sure. All right, last thing. Take me through villain side. You gave us like the hot tip. You talk about sick play. That's the one. On the villain side, you've been playing Talzin, have you not? Or is that Jay?
I did. It was Jay's deck. He built Talzin Callus.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, man, is Mother Talzin. I call her Mama Tarzan.
Yes.
But her real name's Mother Talzin.
Well, you could have said anything. I've never seen that character ever.
Oh, she's probably from one of them cartoons, you know?
How do you spell Callus?
She's such a cool character, though.
There it is. K-A-L-L-U-S.
If you just gave her a chance, man.
Okay.
You'd realize how good of a character she is.
Okay, Jay.
So you can play both characters at Elite, which is always what you should be looking for. Like, if you're brand new into Destiny and you listen to no other advice I have to give you, listen to this. Start the game with as many dice as possible. The only reason you should ever start with 2 is if you're playing Palpatine. 3, your deck's probably not going to be that good, but there are some 3-die decks that are okay. 4, now you're talking a good character combination. And this is a 4-die deck. Mother Talzin has 1 range, 2 range, and a focus, and an ability. That's when you activate this character, reveal the top card of a player's deck. If it costs an odd number, turn any of the player's dice to any side. So she basically gets a free focus when she activates.
If you're your deck, because you can do either deck, correct?
Yes. Well, here's what you do. Here's what Jay did. He made every card in the deck an odd number. So, except with the exception of Holocron, which if you have Holocron, you're just going to play it anyway. Right. So he would play Holocron, activate Talzin. It would be an odd number, and he would turn to the special on the Holocron. And then Callus, or there I go again, Callus.
It's easy to do.
Callus has an ability to where you can turn his range to the 3 melee and vice versa. So you've got 2 characters that are guaranteed to turn their die to the side you want. So it cuts a lot of the luck out of the game. You don't have to roll good with these characters. You just get whatever side you want. And there's another card called Witch Magic, I believe is what it's called. But it says it's an event that costs 1. And it says reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and heal 1 for every odd number. Well, if every card in the deck is an odd number, you're paying 1 to heal 3. Which is insane. Paying 1 to heal 3, but it's a guaranteed 3 healing if you build the deck right.
That is a weird looking card. That's scary. I don't know if I could play it.
That's Star Wars nowadays, man.
Look, that's not even the same game.
That's Star Wars.
It doesn't even spell magic right. It's Magick. Is that part of the canon?
It's magic.
Man, that is crazy. Look at that card. That's a common right there.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not good unless you're playing all odd number decks.
Right.
Then you get 3 healing for 1 resource.
Yeah, blue algebra. Isn't that called blue algebra? That's
blue
what this is.
Algebra. You got it right.
This is
so what we would do is we would play Holocron on Talzin, activate her. We'd get the odd number because the whole deck is odd numbers, including that card, that event. And we turn Holocron to the special, replace it with like a force throw. And then going forward, every time we activate Talzin, we pull a card from the top of our deck. It's an odd number, because it always is, and we turn Force Throw to the special. So no matter what you roll, I'm always going to throw your best die back at you. So Force Throw is incredible in this deck, because you get free mitigation and damage every turn, guaranteed with her ability. It's a beautiful deck. You don't have to worry about Kylo 2 because it's got red and blue, so you're not mono. It's going to be a deck that's going to see competitive play. I promise you that.
Yeah, for sure. That looks good, and doesn't look too bad. I mean, in terms of cost wise, right? What is it? Force throws in there, you said?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, every card in there has to be an odd number,
right?
Which is good because most good removal for villains cost 1. So you get your Feel Your Anger, your Isolation. all that trash. And then all of your good holocron abilities cost 3. So you can't do Force Lightning because it's 4, but you can do Force Throw, Force Push, Force Wave, all that fun trash. And Force Illusion costs 1, so that's an odd number. So you get your holocron loadout. I mean, there is that slim chance you do her ability and it's the holocron and you don't get the odd number. But, I mean, the odds of that happening are 1 in 15. So you should be set.
I'll tell you what. You talk about value tonight, what people got for free. I mean, could it get any better? It's Sir Christopher breaking it down for you. Legacies. We basically just, I mean, we're ready for the next set. What is next? Because this is done. We're out of
I'd love to design the next set.
You could. Hey, what's his face is going to be doing that from the Hyperloose. Doesn't he get to design a card?
Does he?
I think so. That's part of the deal.
I know what I'd make.
What would you make?
I'd make Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Ooh.
I think it's long overdue.
Do you think it's already made?
I doubt it. It'd be in this set if it was. No, they're going to wait till Awakenings goes out, and then Vader's going to be the new gotta-have character in the next set, then they're going to have Vader's lightsaber.
They cannot have him not in the game. I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
What would you do with his saber?
Oh, man. It would be like a 3-cost upgrade. It would be something like... I haven't even thought about it, to be honest with you. It would be something super good on Vader. Like... That's the thing. Like, if you're going to make a new Vader, it needs to work with that Vader.
Yeah.
If we're keeping the old Vader, it would be something like power action. Whenever your opponent discards a card, you may exhaust this upgrade to make them discard another one. So when you do Vader's ability, they have to get rid of 2 instead of 1.
Yeah, that's good.
And then after that, it's like 3/4 resource plus 3, 2 shields, 1 resource, something like that. But it would just be something that works really good with whatever Vader brings to the game.
See, I think that's next week. I want to find out what's left because I think Legacies brought so many awesome cards. And with Rivals, there's some characters in there like with Jawa and Lobot. Like, who's left? Some bounty hunters maybe, but like the good stuff. The good stuff.
Start remaking characters.
See, it's going to start to happen. Maybe you're going to get your Luke.
Yeah, man. They're going to make Old Man Luke.
Oh, definitely. I thought that was going to be in the 2-player set for sure.
I don't want Old Man Luke.
It could happen. It could happen.
Jeez.
But I'll tell you what, Chris, thank you. You gave us a lot of knowledge, and I don't care what Jay says about you all the time. We don't believe it. You're a nice guy. You're not salty.
I'm a nice guy, man.
We do appreciate it all the time. And if people want to watch you stream all the time. The biggest is Friday Night Dice, right? You're still going to be doing that for the foreseeable future?
I'm going to do that forever. So
FFG appreciates that and your commitment to the game.
68 years old playing this ancient card and dice game.
Hey, I'm pretty close to that anyway. So, I mean, I'm closer to that than you are. But
dadgummit, my Han Solo rolled the blanks again. There's 2 people watching.
Han Snap, you're snapping your rib. If they want to find you, it's on YouTube, correct, Sir Christopher?
Right, I'm on YouTube, Sir Christopher.
The tube of you. Why don't you do Twitch, man? You never do some Twitch.
I thought about switching, but I'm afraid I'll lose all my... Like, I'm afraid people won't notice the transition and I'll lose some of my audience.
Listen. You've already dictated the cost of 6 different Legacies cards today. People listen. You can also stream at the same time, too. I can tell you how to do that, which would be good. But anyway, we appreciate it, Chris. Thank you for taking some time. And as always, if you want to engage in the conversation, lots of ways you can do it. The best, hey, send us an email. Because we actually read those emails. I had one here. Believe it or not, I had one here. And my computer went to sleep because of all the knowledge you dropped. So I have to open it up, and I have to type a password, and nobody will overhear this because it'll be edited. And then I type in the password wrong. And I type it in again, and then it opens up. This was from Joe Rankin. He said, just want to say glad to hear your hard work for Star Wars Destiny. Welcome addition to Double Blanks Gaming. Listen, I don't think I am. I don't think I'm an addition. I'm like, what? Do you remember, did you ever watch, the Brady Bunch? You ever watch that show?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember?
It's a little before my time, but yeah.
You watched a little bit of it?
I watched a little bit of it.
Okay. Do you remember they adopted a kid? His name was Oliver. I don't know if they adopted him. He was like a cousin.
Oliver. Yeah. It sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah. That's me. That's my role within Double Blank. He's like kind of. I thought he was on a few of the shows or something like that. Like that's my whole place. But thank you. He had some comments. Storage. He talked about storage. He's had his dice in good old long white boxes he's had for his Magic collection until tomorrow night. He bought Feldherr cases. Have you seen those Feldherr cases, Chris?
No, I haven't.
See, because you use a hamper. Santa Destiny should have brought you that. Feldherrs are awesome. They're these sweet like zipper cases, and I guess they were people who like take their Armada like models back and forth, but they cut out these little holes for dice they're awesome. Awesome. He's got it's a 200 dice bag. They actually now have a 480 dice bag. Can you imagine? That would be.
You're gonna need it because I mean they add up quick.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Quicker than you think they would.
He has predictions. He hopes no foil cards. He says that they bend easy in Magic. And Tabletop Simulator, not a fan. He is not a fan.
A lot of people aren't, and that's okay. A lot of people don't.
He thinks that he hopes that they do something really good in like Final Fantasy Flight does something good, and that it keeps the content creators like you able to still stream, but yet makes a little bit better product. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think it's going to stick around for the long haul, or what do you think with
what's Tabletop Simulator?
Yeah, with FFG. Do you think that they're going to come out with something this year?
I don't know. FFG is just when it comes to Destiny, I know this is going to sound wrong, so correct me if it sounds wrong, but I feel like we kind of get minimum effort with Destiny. Like they kind of throw together tournaments and they throw together rules and they screw up the release date. And so I feel like they're more concerned with their next big game or their next big product than trying to make an electronic Destiny program. But I think it would be cool if we find a way to set it up where I could play over like Skype or something with webcams.
Yeah, there's a league for that on Facebook, and I joined it, but I'm too embarrassed to play it. But that would be sweet. We should try that.
Oh yeah, let's look into that pretty soon.
That would be sweet. And one more, it's from Craig Petty. He's Ghost Rider 75. He said, first of all, you trash. So see, it's that language coming out. You trash. Secondly, I trash. So you trash and I trash. And lastly, you touched upon this in your last episode about TTS. He thought as a topic would be a TTS beginner's guide. Maybe what keys do, what tips and tricks of the trade. Regardless, keep up the great work, guys. Craig Petty, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Go Packers. What about that? How about, I think that you like reach those people. Like, how about have you done any guides like that for TTS?
I thought about doing just a full video where I just tell people everything I've learned about content creation, Tabletop Simulator, OBS, just because I've learned so much this past year from when I started doing this. I just haven't had the time to do it, but you're a TTS expert at this point.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking at your screen right now. You've got your own custom discard to reroll table. I don't even know how to do that trash.
It's easy. That part I can handle. It's just I get, you know what, because it's like you. I think the thing you do like this. Here's you. This is like you play like go around. Like oh my god. But I think in order to talk to people, which I feel like I talk to people well, but only when I'm not looking at something else. Like as soon as I'm trying to focus on something, you can do that really well because I think you have such a good knowledge of the game. Like you talk people through those plays, which is what's really helpful. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can do that.
Yeah.
But listen, well, go ahead.
It comes and goes.
What's that? It comes and goes? What'd you say?
Yeah, well, the more you play it, the more comfortable you get. And the more you're in front of the camera, the more comfortable you get. So
yeah, that's weird. Because you're always looking at a weird angle. I was trying that. What's the right angle? Am I looking up? Am I looking down? It makes you look like you end up looking like Darth Maul's lightsaber.
Take your webcam and put it on your crotch and just have it go straight up your nostrils.
A nice crotch shot. Oh, up. Good.
That works.
That's
too.
a different. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get the subscribers, apparently that's what all the ladies do on Twitch. So maybe I should try that.
I don't know. I think mine would definitely go down. So from 100 to 0. But listen, Chris, thanks for all the time, and we appreciate it. Head over to the website to go join the conversation on Twitter. We're on Anchor, which 3 of you listen to. My mom being one of them, and just be a part of the community because we really want it. Patreon, if you are so inclined. Chris, I know yours has been building up too, and you put a lot of content out there. So thanks for your time, and as always, may all of your rerolls be special ones. What do you think about that, closer? I feel like that's class. Isn't that good?
That's a good closer.
All of your, unless you don't want the special, then that would be
brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah. How do you end your streams?
Bye.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And you flip the table. That's it. But thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
What do we want to play this time, Coach? Because I ain't playing that trash.
He can't sell shoes. He yella.